I'm going, yeah! Hey, hey! Workful foul! Offside! I said replay! Oh, no! Yeah! What? Are you kidding me? That's foul! Get him off the field! Oh, he drove! Yeah! No! Intercepted! No! Oh, no! I put a hole in the wall! What am I gonna do now?
DIY do care. I'll help you repair your drywall.
Well, we got a big old hole in the wall to fix. That's no big deal. Drywall's not that hard to fix. You just gotta follow the proper steps. We're gonna check our wall out and see what the thickness is. You measure it if you need to, and it's 1/2 inch. So we're gonna get some 1/2 inch sheetrock. This you can get on a construction site. If drywallers are there, they'll probably just give you chunks of it. That's cool, it'll be free. Otherwise, you'll have to buy it from a hardware store, Home Depot, Lowe's, something like that, and they'll sell sections of it, and that way you don't have to buy an entire 4x8 sheet of it. 2, we're going to need some water, some tools such as a tape measure, a drywall saw, a utility knife, and a hammer. Any kind of hammer will do. This is a drywall hammer. Some paper tape and or some fiberglass tape. Fiberglass is nice because it has an adhesive back and it'll stick to it. You only have to coat it once. With the paper tape, you have to put mud underneath it and then mud on top of it. We'll show both so you know how it works. Some screws and or nails. Either one will work just to attach the drywall. And then a pan and knife. Here's a 6-inch knife, an 8-inch, and a 10-inch. You can get by with a 10-inch. We'll show how that works. We'll just use one knife so you don't have to buy all those. And a pan. And we got some 20-minute mud. This is nice because it sets up fast. And you can accelerate the speed by using a hairdryer if you want to, or if you got plenty of time. You don't want to mess with the fast set. You can buy a box of regular drywall mud. And the all-purpose is the best for this particular case. A screw gun if you want to use the screws. There, and some caulking. We'll show some caulking tricks too as well. So here's the big hole. We got to fix this. But how do we start? Let's look at what's behind the wall. Yep, those are studs. And these studs are 16 inches on center. Or I'm sorry, 24 inches on center. Sometimes they're 16 inches on center. But in this case, we're going to cut out from stud to stud, so we'll have something to attach that drywall with. It'd be nice to do it in one whole piece, but we only have a small piece. And sometimes that's the case. Pick up smaller pieces for free, so we're going to do it in a double section. So let's get started. First thing we're going to do is cut this out in a nice square section with our drywall saw, and then trim it out stud to stud, and then attach the new sheetrock. One is a pretty good place to get those screws in, or those nails to this framing back there. Get all that cleaned up. And then of course we'll measure. We'll get a measurement here. And we're going to put 2 pieces in there. It'll be like a seam. Really easy way to cut sheetrock. Just put your finger on 22 5/8. Take your tape, take your knife to the edge of your tape, hold it tight, hold that tight, and just pull that across. Or you can mark it with a pencil and draw a straight line. But there you have the line. You can push in a little harder and then just snap it. And then just score the back side and bingo. The nice thing about the fiberglass tape is it's has adhesive. So you're just going to put it on. You can take your broad knife, your 6-inch knife, and just cut it. Remember, we have an extra seam here, so we need to tape that as well. You'll put these on. This is going to keep those cracks from reappearing. Fiberglass tape is really nice because it's super strong. And again, we're going to be able to start coating right over this stuff because it will not blister. If you use paper tape, you're going to coat this side and then the outside. Sometimes when you coat the first side, which is the drywall side, the sheetrock side, some people don't get enough mud under it. When they squeeze it out with their broad knife, and then they put the second coat on, it causes it to blister. Then you got to cut it out and blah, blah, blah. That's the nice thing about fiberglass tape. The mud embeds right through that screen and it holds it in there and no chance of any tape blistering. Let's go ahead and mix the mud up. So we'll take the fast set, and just kind of dribble some in there. Got it mixed up. As you can see, it's just like kind of like cream, heavy cream, ice cream that is, and it's good to go. You're just going to coat that, get everything off the wall like that there, Oregon duck sticker. The trick with drywall is it's like body and fender work on a car. You want to really feather those edges, at the same time getting rid of any kind of hump there. You can see a slight hump. You can put your knife blade on that and you can tell it needs more fill there than it does there. Same with there. It's pretty even though, and this mud's going to take care of it real well. So we're going to get those seams mudded out. Then we're going to come back and feather that edge. And that way we won't have to sand off a really thick edge there. We'll come back and just kind of smooth it out. Remember, you're not going to be able to get it perfect the first time, so just get it good. Basically, that first coat is filling. That looks pretty good. We're just going to take our mud and run that a little bit wider around there, like so. Get our tacks out of there. And again, we want to feather that edge, but we want to leave some fill mud there. So we'll go ahead and feather that around. Then run it one more time. Squeezing it out just a little, putting just a little bit of pressure on it so it goes up against that high point. Then with the leftover mud, we'll go ahead and run the inside of that. Now that's going to dry a little faster. Once that first layer dries, it's going to set it up for the second layer because you're putting this mud on other mud, which absorbs it really fast. And then you can put some on that middle seam. By the time you're through, this whole thing is going to be coated. With the third coat, we're going to mix up some more mud. Then we're going to start filling all these imperfections here. Start making that uniform base there. We're just going to smooth that out. It's starting to look really smooth now. But we're going to do another couple coats just because there's no texture on this wall. It's got to be nice and smooth. Okay, we got some pretty good thin mud here. It's thinner than before. That's really going to help us float over this. We're basically going to put it on and take it off. And what's left is just going to fill all those imperfections. So let's get going. So we can start around and feather that edge. This time we're putting a lot of pressure on that knife. So that's filling all that stuff. All those little knife marks, those chatter marks are going to be gone with this coat. That's starting to look really good. Now that's going on good. Again, the final touch, just look for those little tiny places that need some mud and just put it on and take it off. Again, you're pressing your knife really hard, squeezing that out. We'll go ahead and take a sponge with most of the water wrung out and just go ahead and feather those edges so we don't have any ridges there. All finished. Paint it. Now when that paint dries, you may have to put another coat on it just so it becomes fluid and it all looks the same. Again, if it's a short wall, paint it all. It's not that big a deal. And this is all the mud we used. We didn't even use a half a sack. Again, that's fast set mud if you're in a hurry. If you're not, you can use the other types of drywall mud. Another thing is smooth wall is a premium finish. It's the hardest to do. It's almost like an auto body thing. Mostly reserved for restaurants, hospitals, schools, that kind of thing, because it's easy to clean. Most houses, apartments, that kind of thing have a texture, either orange peel or machine broquet or knocked down. If it's older house like plaster, it's going to have some hand textures, which were really inventive at the time. They can all be replicated, but that's for future episodes. One last important thing. Go Ducks! So, DIY do. Until next time, do it yourself.